Hello, my name is Glenn Beck, and I am a friend of Charlie Kirk's. You may not know who I am, but one thing I am known for is my emotions, and I think we're going to need a tarp today. I knew this was going to be difficult. But to sit in the studio right next to his chair is more difficult than I imagined. I want to talk to you a little bit about the future, but I want to talk to you a little bit about my friend as well. I knew Charlie when he was young. I first met him, I think he was 17 years old. He was amazing. He was so well read, so smart, so clear. I want to share a story. That I've never shared before, and I so regret that we ran out of time. It's a story that I had hoped to tell Charlie myself in the next couple of months. When I first met Charlie, and this is the kind of guy he was so gracious. I first met him, he was young. And I said, so what do you want to do? What is it you want? What do you want to do? So gracious, he said, I want to be you. I want to do what you do. Let me translate. I want to be Rush Limbaugh. He didn't want to be me. He wanted to be Rush Limbaugh. He wanted to be one of the, as Rush said, radio's greatest of all time. And I remember thinking, well, kid, maybe someday, because I think you have it. I brought something with me today that I thought was appropriate while I did the show, that I would sit in front of Charlie's microphone. It was given to me after the death of Rush Limbaugh by his wife. It is Rush's golden microphone. I think it's appropriate that it sits in front of Charlie's microphone.
What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, and it's time for Pop and Politics. As you guys saw, that was Glenn Beck. It was his turn to host the Charlie Kirk show. And my goodness, I thought that he gave probably the best tribute that I've seen since the unfortunate passing of Charlie Kirk. We're going to get into that and more. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. Of course, we have Nicole Bennett.
Hey, y'all.
And Shelly E.
Hi, everybody.
All right, folks. So I don't know about you guys if you saw the actual live version of the show. I watched it, and another tear jerking moment. I mean, it was just, oh my gosh. Before we get into it, guys, as you come in, please light that fire, do your part, tap that thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, and turn on your notifications. We're live here on YouTube and Rumble. If you're on the go, you can catch us on Apple Podcast or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out every super chat. So show your love. Join the conversation that the mainstream media wishes didn't exist. This is not just a podcast, folks. As you can see, this is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off. Of course, we want to get into that. It was such a heartfelt episode. What are your thoughts on that? Nicole?
Glenn Beck is famous for being someone who emotes well, right? This is one man you never have to guess where you are with him. He definitely lets you know how he feels about you. And I think this is probably the most genuine of emotions we've seen of people who are still kind of grieving. J.D. Vance, of course, was very close friends with Charlie. We saw the anger part. So he's cycling through his grief a little bit faster. But Glenn Beck is where we were last week. Mm-hmm. He's still mourning. He's still there. And it was the sweetest tribute to bring out Rush's microphone. For those of us who are Rush fans, that microphone was everything. And to put it in front of Charlie's mic was, I think, a very wonderful touch.
Yeah. Yeah. Shelley, what stood out most to you in that Glenn Beck tribute?
I love the fact that he gave the microphone. And it was very moving when he said, he was hoping to do it some months from now. Mm-hmm. And it just gives you pause that nobody knows. Mm-hmm. We don't know. And it makes it that much more poignant. It's just so much that has and can come, that we're going to find all these other, symbolisms, meanings from this tragedy. It's just a lot.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought that, his tribute showed the depth of the loss.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In the conservative movement with this awful murder of Charlie Kirk. You guys know who've been watching the show for a long time. Glenn Beck is who kind of started me in my conservative journey, and I love his show. I have all his books. I think he was well ahead of his time, just with talking about just the whole trans movement, this whole idea of transhumanism, AI, the Great Reset, all of that. And just for him to be there and just talking about how, he's, knew Charlie Kirk when he was very young, and just and having him do it because he's been in the conservative movement for a very long time.
Absolutely. But what's interesting is, J.D. Vance and Charlie were kind of in the same age bracket. Mm-hmm. But here's Glenn Beck, who probably never could have fathomed that he would have to eulogize his friend.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that emotion comes from activities they'll never get to do together, things they'll never get to say together, or co-hosting each other's shows and doing things like that. Mm-hmm. It's just remarkable to me how many people are so deeply touched.
Yeah.
Glenn Beck reminds me sort of the sandwich between Rush Limbaugh and Charlie Kirk.
He's the bridge.
Yeah, he is kind of the bridge. Mm-hmm. And in many ways, Glenn Beck, I guess, reminds me of Rush Limbaugh, with his clarity, his teaching, his mind.
He's funny.
And he was also, he is. He's funny. And Charlie is sort of a younger version of them both in a lot of ways, right? So it's just,
Yeah, and the before, so first it was J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, and then the guys from Daily Wire, they also hosted Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, and Ben Shapiro, and I really thought Matt Walsh we talked about that.
He just nailed it.
Yeah,
he was so good. He was so very good, but he's always very good. I think he just has a way of looking at things that brings a fresh perspective.
But I think he said it himself. He's more angry.
Yeah.
Every day he's more and more angry, and righteously so. I was so there with him. And granted, I didn't know Charlie Kirk like they did, but I was glad to hear him or them say that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear men not just showing their emotions, but expressing the righteous anger in its rightful place where it should be, and not afraid to say it. Yes, damn it, we are angry.
Yeah. The same with Glenn Beck. I mean, of course, he's known for his emotionalism,
Right?
But him openly sobbing
Yeah.
for his friend, I think in this instance, the most manly thing he could have done.
Oh, absolutely.
Most manly thing he could have done.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of anger, a lot of people on the right are angry at Candace Owens' take. So while some honor Charlie Kirk with grace, others have taken a darker path. So let's contrast Candace Owens, what we just saw with Glenn Beck, and now Candace Owens' response. This is clip 6.
Holocaust, so everybody's just stopped talking about anything. We're sick of this shit. We really are. And there will be no narrative that I will not prod when it comes to figuring out why people are lying about the state that Charlie was in when it came to the topic of Israel. You're starting to talk about topics that you're not really allowed to talk about when you take money and big checks are being written. That pressure was increasing every single day. In fact, he was telling the truth even about Jeffrey Epstein. You know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair, okay? Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged. It's kind of strange that nobody at the Hamptons meeting wants to speak about anything. Everyone's a little hush-hush right now and trying to manipulate me into not speaking. Now is not the time. No, it's the time. A lot of people that I'm looking at, okay? It's all these people have is threats, lawsuits, contracts, lawyers. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. And now, does all of this mean that Bibi Netanyahu and that this somehow proves that Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk? No, we have no evidence of that. We can't say that because there is no evidence of that. Go, Candace, go, but be careful. No one was more careful than Charlie Kirk, and he still got a bullet in the throat. So that's why I would like to say that. Was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to Mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step, okay? You are, I said specifically, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie. He says, ha ha. You're speaking about Mary.
Wow. All right, so a lot to unpack there. First off, I wanted to say, some people, I don't understand this take. I really don't understand what she's doing. Even if Charlie Kirk was starting to question Israel's role or, what Benjamin Netanyahu, to then jump and sort of insinuate that they had anything to do with this assassination, it's just weird. It's weird. And I know a lot of people have mentioned that Megyn Kelly came out and also said, or at least somehow
Insinuated.
Yeah, not so much insinuated, but she also said that she confirmed that Charlie Kirk was starting to question, Israel and their role. Okay, but she didn't go as far as Candace Owens. She just said, yes, he was starting to question, but she at no time said that he had changed his mind on Israel, that he had, that they were in somehow any way implicated in this assassination. I mean, she didn't go anywhere near the way Candace Owens reacted to this. I mean, not only did she do that, but then as you can see in the beginning, she's sort of insinuating that Charlie Kirk and TPUSA are bought. Like they're receiving these large donations and somehow they are being made to do and act in a certain way due to these large donations. I mean, they haven't even had the funeral yet. Why? This is not something that I think is appropriate. Shelley?
Talking about Megyn Kelly, on her show yesterday, I think it was, she had the fifth column.
Right.
The guys, they're always on there. And the guy, Moynihan, he used the exact words that I've been using. He basically said, Candace is obsessed. I'm paraphrasing. You can go and watch it yourself. Candace is obsessed. No, he even said, and we were talking about this, that no one has even brought in this Israel angle except for her 24 hours after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He's talking how she's incessant about this Israel angle. What does anything have to do? What does it have to do with anything at all? I don't understand that. And as far as him maybe changing over to Catholicism, so what? So what? His wife is Catholic. Maybe he did go. Maybe he was considering all of that. I don't know. But what difference does it make? The reason she's bringing all of this up is that because underneath it is that she is insinuating, implying, accusing, alleging that because he may have been changing to Catholicism, converting to Catholic, I should say, and because he was starting to have some questions, as far as Megyn Kelly, I saw that episode. I saw him on with Tucker Carlson. He just had questions about some of Israel's role. He did not say
we all question.
Everybody's question.
That's it.
Right.
But the fact that Candace is doing this again, 24 hours or less after the man was assassinated, this is because she is building up to actually accuse, allege, insinuate, imply that Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, and Protestants, whoever these Protestants are now.
That's a thing too. What is her issue with Protestants? I mean, folks, we did a whole special on this on Christian Conservative. We did the whole thing, Candace Owens, shocking conversion from conservative icon to Catholic critic of Jews and Protestants. She has been very nasty about Protestants. I don't know why. Catholics and Protestants, generally have never had an issue with one another, as far as I know. And she's
the wars,
right.
Wait, in Europe, not since the wars.
Right, this is Reformation. But again, I mean, within the conservative movement,
right?
I should say.
Yeah,
we this isn't an issue, and she's always throwing these jabs at Protestants. Charlie Kirk, he believed in the gospel. He believed in the grace of Jesus Christ. I mean, I know his wife is Catholic, but he's never said anything like against Protestantism, against Christianity, I should say.
Well, listen,
Nicole.
his wife is Catholic, and if Charlie was this diehard my way or highway guy, she wouldn't have been Catholic.
Exactly.
She would have married a Christian girl. I mean, here's the thing with Candace. Again, this is narcissism on full display. She is a very smart woman. She's an incredibly bright woman. She's a fantastic investigative journalist. But what she isn't is sound in logic and reason. That's not her strong suit. She likes conspiracy theories, and the people who like her like conspiracy theories. The problem with this is that we haven't even buried him yet. This is not that moment. She says, oh, yes, it's the moment. We got to catch it. Israel's not going anywhere. Bibi Netanyahu's not going anywhere. She feels like this is her defense of her friend, and it turns the camera around to her.
I don't know about it being defense of her friend.
To her. I'm telling you from her perspective. Let me say this.
Yeah, I can see that from her perspective.
Here's what's going to happen. Candace, as we get closer and closer to Charlie's homegoing services, Candace is going to go deeper and deeper into that hole.
Mm-hmm.
Deeper and deeper into that hole. And then shortly after this man is buried, there'll be some big aha moment that had nothing to do with the hole that she started, right? But for the people who like that, for the people who like that kind of conspiracy theory, wink, wink, nod, nod thing, it'll be okay. My whole thing is the respect for his wife, for his mother, for his father and his sister, his children. You've got to give them an opportunity to say goodbye before you start, releasing private text messages and all this other foolishness. It is unconscionable what she's doing.
Yes.
Someone in her circle who she listens to should tell her, hold on, give it a minute, pump the brakes. But apparently there's nobody in her circle that she listens to.
Not only that, but folks, we are in the midst right now of the left trying to say that this was not a leftist LGBTQ trans terrorist, okay? Which we all know all points lead to that. She is doing what the left is doing, taking it away from what we obviously know what this is. It was a trans terrorist, and we're seeing them pop up all over the country. It is a larger issue than the media wants to let on. Right. And instead of her investigating that, she's saying, no, look at the Jews. And it's the same thing the left is doing. And it's unconscionable. We need more people on our side, on the conservative side, to put a squash on these Marxist, leftist, trans nuts, okay? And instead of her doing that, she's taking the attention off of it. And it's not right. And I don't even believe she's doing this out of a good heart. I really don't.
So. Yeah, I'm with you.
Look, I mean, Charlie Kirk unfollowed her 2 years ago on X, okay? He unfollowed her. She was outed by TPUSA since 2019. And if there's video of Charlie Kirk answering a question and vehemently opposition to everything she has been pushing about Israel, about all this stuff. So every video, every photo that she shared when she did the montage was like from years ago with Charlie Kirk. There was some type of schism, or at least I'll say they weren't as friendly as she would like us
or they
to believe.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, to me, she's trying to insert herself into this to get the spotlight. And she's the only one that's doing it. Everyone else seems authentic.
Yeah. It was a comment up there. It's simply somebody, I can't remember. It's simply
let's
someone.
read them. Yeah.
It says, can you go back, producers, please, to that comment? Simply someone basically is saying that Candace, we're just coming for Candace. There it is right there. Erica would have pulled her back if there was a problem. Y'all are looking for a reason to come after her. No, let me say this. Erica's grieving, okay? And yesterday, I think it was on Twitter, Charlie's and pastor, I forget his name, pastor and I think another, I guess a lay person at the church came onto Twitter and he wrote a very short,
it was
very nice, graceful message, basically asking Candace to stop, to, like you said, pump the brakes, right?
Yes.
He didn't use those words, but you can go on Twitter and read it. This man said, in no way has Charlie ever come to him and say he was converting to Catholicism and things like, but basically he was asking her to back off. Let this family grieve. But no, I mean, not even his pastor. So Erica's grieving. Erica is probably hearing these things, but she doesn't have the strength or the wherewithal, if you will, and neither should she to deal with Candace's crap.
Here's the thing, and I say this from an unfortunate point of privilege of having lived through losing a husband when you have a young child. Your scope is very different. You don't care what the rest of the world is saying. What you're trying to do is make sure that you can secure your child and help your child through this rough time, because you haven't even really had a chance to grieve. Right. There are so many little details. And then you've got his family and they're grieving the loss of their son and their brother and all of that. And for Erica, she's got this huge company, that's saying, okay, what's next? What are we going to do next? Thank God that they're all pulling on the same team, that everybody's there to help her. The last thing on her mind is Candace Owens and her stuff, or not just Candace, anybody in their stuff. When we talk about comfort, not comfort for us, because listen, Saturday afternoon, we were back outside giving speeches. not comfort for us, comfort for his widow, his family, and his children. That is the decent thing to do. And I know that Candace is a decent person. She's a decent person, but I think she's just a little misguided in this particular circumstance. I wish someone in her team could just get in her ear and ask her just to wait a while. The evidence is still going to be there after a week. If not, you can dig even harder. But give her a chance to put her husband in the ground before you start all this foolishness. It is the decent thing to do. Catholic or not, makes no difference.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Folks, sound off in the chat. What do you guys think? Give us your comments. We have some super chatters here. Thank you all so much. It's the best way to keep us online. If also, as you come in, hit that like button. We need those likes. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience. We have so many people watching, want to get those likes up. All right, we have Lucille joined our Freedom Seekers Club. Thank you so much, Lucille. That is another way to support the channel, and you get cool perks from being a member. Thank you. Kung Fu CJ with a $2 super chat. Says, okay, Poppin' Politics family, let's get it poppin'. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wizard says, hello, my friends. Love your content. Keep up your good job. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Again, your super chats go a long way in keeping us online. We appreciate the support. Oh, we have a comment here. Let me see here.
What happened so fast?
Okay. Well, breaking news, though, before we're going to move on a little bit, but before we get into the other topics, breaking news out today, late night host Jimmy Kimmel is officially off the air. So Disney's ABC pulled the comedian's show after comments he made Monday night claiming that Charlie Kirk's assassin was a right-winger, and he sort of encouraged the audience to kind of come cheer, like laugh about it. It was disgusting, as he is,
and not funny.
No, it's never funny. And so now the show is indefinitely off the air per Variety. Next Star Media said they have plans to preempt the show going forward, which spurred ABC to make the move. So ABC made it. The cancellation begins on Wednesday night, tonight. In response to Kimmel's commentary and goading his audience to laugh at the killing, Nexstar said the company strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. All right, so as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, a lot of people have been fired, let go, suspended by their companies for making disgusting comments about this. Ladies, what are your thoughts? Shelley?
So, I mean, all these people, number one, they are disgusting. They're vile. They are mean. They are mean. These are the people who claim to have empathy and sympathy, but they actually don't. They hate the people on the right. They hate conservatives, Republicans, whatever you want to say. Certainly they hate, Christians. Charlie was a man of faith. As far as them getting fired, I don't have a problem with them getting fired from their employer or whatever. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't know if we were talking about paying Bondi. This kind of leads into this free speech thing. I don't have a problem with the employer following them. They can say what they want. No one stopped them from saying anything. I'm all for that. If their employer saw it and maybe for some reason it didn't go along with their employment code of conduct, fine. But they were able to say what they wanted to say.
Right. Yeah. Nicole, what are your thoughts? He's got the can. Kimmel's been canned.
Kimmel has been canned. Here's the thing, and I think we said this when the young man from California was on the show with us, and he was fiercely debating this free speech thing, and I told him then, what's true now, you can say what you want to say. You have the divine right to do that, but you are not free from the consequences of the things that you say, especially when you're dumb enough to do it in a T-shirt or a work shirt that has your employer's name on it, or you've tagged your social media account with the place that you work. When you do things like that, and again, even after they're fired or suspended, they come back onto the same social media that cost them their job to talk about losing said job. It's like an addiction.
Oh, yeah.
They can't seem to fight it. But what's interesting is you see some of these young women, especially going, well, what did I say wrong? They've been so indoctrinated that they don't even see it, so dehumanized that they feel like losing their job They have tears for that. They're blowing snot. They're all upset, faces red, ears red, right? But for a man who was gunned down in front of his wife and his children, not one tear.
Not one tear.
Not one tear. And they don't seem to understand the problem with that. America, that's our problem. We have this problem with these people. They just don't get it.
And they had they don't seem to understand or aware of it. But not only that, but they didn't have that understanding, but they had the motivation, the urge, the desire to go on whatever, social media and say all of these vile things. They didn't think about that. They didn't think to themselves just say, you know what? What do I have to say? What do I have to say at all? If I don't know him, but why do I have to go and say these mean things?
Well, because they want to be viral. You know, everybody wants to be an influencer, right? But Jimmy Kimmel's situation's a little bit different. He's already incredibly wealthy, right? So he's not doing it for likes or punchlines or any of that kind of thing. He is what I like to call a true believer, and he is a disseminator of that kind of hate. So traditionally, he would say like a punchy joke, and they'd light up the laugh sign, and people would giggle, you know. But when it was so crass that he couldn't even get his very liberal-leaning audience to laugh along, someone had to do something. You're losing money and you're not funny. At some point, they had to pull the plug.
And who's the other guy that's going to be off next year? What's his name?
Oh, the Canadian.
The other talk show host.
Late night talk show
the
host,
one that's
skinny Canadian.
I forget his name.
I forget his name. I
forget
don't
his
watch
name.
any of them.
Right,
They're not
but he's
funny
gone
anymore.
too. He's going to be gone too.
Yeah,
so.
none of them are funny. All right, folks. So sound off in the chat. What do you think about Kimmel being canned? Do you think it was the right thing, or are you you're against it and he has free speech and you feel like he should be able to say whatever he wants to say? His employer shouldn't care. So give us your thoughts on that. In the meantime, folks, if you want to support TPUSA, they just released a list of ways you can help the Kirk family. You can go to their givesendgo.com. We will link all of this to support them. It's givesendgo.com/Kirk family. Also, to make a contribution to TPUSA to further Charlie Kirk's legacy, you can go to tpusa.com/donate. To get involved with TPUSA, you can go to tpusa.com/get involved. And to start a TPUSA chapter at your college or Club America at your high school, visit tpusa.com/start chapter. All right, so definitely do that. Also, breaking news, President Trump just informed that he has designated Antifa a terrorist organization.
Good.
It's about time.
Absolutely.
Yep. So there he is on the Truth Social saying he has designated them a terrorist organization. Bravo.
It's about
Bravo.
time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what we would be going through if President Trump was not president right now? I thank God every day that he won. I am so happy that he won. And speaking of that, the media is going mad. So we're just talking about wild theories. Now the mainstream media has its own spin or lack thereof. So despite clear evidence, this is what I'm talking about, folks. Candace is saying the Jews. The media is saying, this was a MAGA person. CNN's Kaitlan Collins clings to the mystery motive narrative, but facts don't lie. Take a look. This is clip 1.
So you have both the shell casing that directly references transgenderism. And in fact, Charlie Kirk was murdered moments after he was asked a question about transgender mass shootings. And that's when the shooter filed. And so do we have conclusive proof at this case?
Well, hold on,
no,
Senator.
but I will say this. Some of the most disturbing polling numbers I see are the number of Democrats who believe that Senator, this left-wing activist was somehow a Republican. I mean, that really shows the media not doing the job they should be doing.
Okay, Senator, but one moment, because you said a lot there, and we don't have a motive yet. We don't know yet. We're waiting. Obviously, we've heard what the governor's had to say, what the FBI director said today.
Come on, we don't have a motive yet.
We know.
We don't have a motive yet.
What's happening with?
Really, that's CNN's position.
I mean, from law enforcement,
he just happened
Senator.
to fire the gun in celebration. You can't tell the motive.
Senator, that's not what I said. And I said law enforcement hasn't laid out a direct motive. They've laid out a lot of evidence here of these messages and what
actually,
the
they
shooter
have.
said to
They've said that
family
he was a
members
left-wing
and to
activist who
roommates.
hated Charlie Kirk. Pardon?
Senator, with all due respect, you know exactly what I'm saying. I'm not arguing with you politically. I'm saying that law enforcement has not put a specific motive. You know that there's a difference of what they're putting in a legal argument than what you're talking about. And you're not even, we're not even arguing about the facts here.
What you just said is false,
Senator,
Kaitlan.
No.
Kaitlan, facts. Hold on a second. Let me answer your statement because what you said is factually
Senator, with
false.
all due respect,
law enforcement.
with all due respect, you're putting a lot of statements
go ahead,
that I did not say. And I want to get back to, we just laid out the facts.
You
in the
just
opening
said
of
law
the show,
enforcement has not laid out a motive. That is objectively
and we just spoke to the
false.
Deputy Attorney General.
That is objectively false.
They
what
have not
you
set a concrete motive of exactly what it was.
And
They've
CNN
laid out
should
every
not
evidence
be
that we
engaged in
know so far.
misinformation. Caitlin, answer my question.
It's not
Have you seen the
misinformation,
polling
Senator.
that shows the vast majority of
you were
Democrats
taking what I
believe
said
this murderer is a
about
Republican
that.
and a Trump supporter? Have you seen that polling?
Let me get back to my questions, though, Senator, because the question here
You're not going to answer that
was
question?
actually
Are you going to answer
what
that
you were
question?
saying
You
about
have seen that
investigations that
polling.
you'd like to see.
So you're not going to
Senator,
answer the
I'm the
question.
one asking the questions here, and the question.
No,
about
we're having a
you saying that
conversation. I
right-wing or
understand
left-wing
that
groups
that
need
you
to be
want to
investigated
say
for
things
where
that
the
are
financing
factually
is
false,
coming.
and then you
Do
don't
you believe
actually
that
want the
right-wing
facts.
groups also
You don't
need to
actually
be
want the
investigated?
facts laid out. Okay, give your speech.
That's not true, Senator. I'm asking you a question.
Go ahead. I don't know what your question is because we have a
said that
delay
you
because you're in
believe
England,
that-
so I can't hear what you're saying.
You said that you believe that left-wing groups should be investigated. You want to know where the financing.
I mean, this woman is, if she's a woman, we were just saying she looks like a man. But she's disgusting. She's not asking questions. She's pushing a narrative.
Of course she's pushing a narrative. And she's like, well, we just laid out the facts. Well, no, it can't be a fact because just because you said it, that doesn't make it a fact.
No.
But in her mind, if she overtalks this good senator, she's making her points. And shout out to Ted, whose level of petty was so high, so very high. You know, Texas, he's doing you proud tonight. I mean, this man was like, oh, no. Not only am I going to overtalk you, I'm going to make you look stupid in the process. There is something going on with the people at CNN. I think CNN is probably like the last bastion of this leftist, Marxist kind of, teach and learn centered thing that they've got going on. Everybody else is crumbling. I think they'll be the last man to fall. But Ted Cruz held his own in this so-called interview. And no, she wasn't asking questions. She was avoiding.
Yeah. What her question was about motive, or she denied that there was a motive.
Yeah.
His name is, I don't even want to say his name. The assassin, allegedly. I had enough, his friend, lover, whatever, Romeo and Juliet here, asked him, why did he do it? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. That's a motive. Keep on going a little bit further down. How long have you been planning this? The assassin, a bit over a week. That shows premeditation.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what more she's looking for motive. That's it. Not to mention all of the other details that came out that we've been getting about the history, how he's been, getting more and more political, all these other things. This is all circumstantial to the evidence, to the case. This is pretty much going to be, in my never to be humble opinion, a slam dunk case. The media, to your point, KJ, I don't know who the other journalist is, the guy who likened. Oh, okay, I forget his name. Let's play that clip first.
Well, before we do that,
okay.
Let's talk about what you just said, though. Yeah. His own mother came out when they first saw that this was put out on the news. The assassin's mother saw the photo or the video of the person that they first put out, and she went to her husband, the father of this idiot, and said, that looks like Tyler or whatever his name is. And so then they called him and they asked him, do you have their grandpa's gun or whatever? Send us a photo. He wouldn't answer. They asked him what was he doing today? He said he was home sick. She also told the news that over the last year or so, he had gone leftist. He had gone leftist and he had gone into taking up for trans politics. Due to the guy he was living with, which was in process of having a sex change. Okay, so, but this thing that he was living with he's called himself a furry. He's injecting himself with hormones. I mean, another nut. These people are insane.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's infectious.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's definitely infectious.
One more piece of evidence. If she's
we have before you do that, we do have the images of the text messages.
Okay, good. Good.
That goes through the text messages that were sent to his boyfriend. There it is. There. So, you know, he
we have both of those.
We do. So like you said, it goes through it. On September 10th, 2022, the roommate received a text message from Robinson, which said, "Drop what you are doing, look under my keyboard." That was a note he had left for this trans man, or whatever he is. The roommate looked under the keyboard, found a note that stated, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
That's it.
And then he goes through these text messages.
Yeah,
so it's right there.
The roommate says, "You weren't the one who did it, right? Question mark, whatever, 4 question marks. You know, the assassin allegedly. I am. I'm sorry." Well, I mean, what is she looking for? What more is she looking for? I mean, I hope there are more details, because I'm of the opinion that number one, this thing has no timestamps on it. So I'd like to see a little bit more concise timeline.
Yeah.
I think that number one. Number two, I think that there are more people in this Discord network and this web. I think there are more people. I think more people did know, and I think they absolutely knew, because we got other reports earlier. It's not here. Other reports earlier over the last week or so that some of the Discord links or strings or whatever talked about evaporating Charlie Kirk, right? On September the 10th.
Before he was done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think many more people, I don't know how many, but I think many more people knew. And I think, I've been saying this to you ladies, when the tragedy first occurred, I think that question that he was asked was what I call the flag question. Like, if you know you're on a race car track and they put the flag down, you can go. I think that question that was asked of him and he was answering, that was sort of the flag question, and that was a key to the assassin. When I asked this question, I don't know if that guy was involved or not.
He said he wasn't.
He may not have been. He can say what he wants all he wants.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I think that question in this network, somehow or another, that question was the quote unquote, lack of a better word, trigger question. I just think that.
Do you know, I think it's the blame game. You know, what Dems are trying to do, liberals are trying to do, is point the finger at anybody or anything else that has nothing to do with them to the best of their ability. Exactly. And the more they try, the worse it gets.
Yes.
That brings us to this next one. ABC News correspondent Matt Gutman called the messages very touching and remarked at how the assassin was trying to protect his boyfriend. This is bizarre. Clip 8. Take a look.
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate, who was transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, speaking so lovingly about his partner. So very interesting, and as Pierre said, riveting.
No, we didn't expect for you to cream over these text messages.
That's what I was thinking. Say that he's getting off on. Did you see how he likes that?
Intimate.
He likes that. His eyes are glistening over.
But they don't paint narratives. This isn't a narrative that they're painting.
And this jackass has the audacity. Number one, he's again making this a Romeo and Juliet story. Except Romeo and Juliet only killed themselves. Okay, they didn't kill anybody else, right? They killed themselves. They didn't murder anyone. That's number one. Number two. Then he also he degrades Charlie a little bit further, because not only he takes this assassin, allegedly, he takes the assassin and makes the assassin's quote unquote love story the picture, the point of the whole story. Right. Doesn't even has the audacity to leave out that this guy assassinated Charlie Kirk. Didn't downplay Charlie Kirk's death, but blazoned this love story that he is so, I bet his pants are wet, like you said, KJ, creamed. His ass probably got juices in it too. So, I mean, his eyes glistening over. Then I was something else I wrote here. I'm sorry. He's deranged. But they like this stuff. They like death and blood. This is what vampires get off on. I mean, this death they do. This is sick. This is beyond, and I say sick, I'm talking about in a wicked way. A deranged way.
Yes. Well, he's come out, and before I get your take on this, Nicole, he's come out and he has apologized. So a groveling apology is actually set out today. He says, yesterday I tried to underscore the jarring contrast between this cold-blooded assassination of Charlie Kirk, a man who dedicated his life to public dialogue, and the personal disturbing. Now they're disturbing. But yesterday they were intimate.
And he was screaming.
Disturbing text read aloud by the Utah County attorney at the press conference, Gutman said in his apology on social media, according to the New York Post. Nicole, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I want to say no one paints a picture quite like Shelley. She just paints a picture with her words that just kind of takes you to another place. But, this reporter is doing what we're going to see liberals do. They're going to try to humanize this monster.
Exactly.
They're going to try to make him seem like he was confused. You heard someone, maybe 4 or 5 people call him a kid. He's 22. He's a grown-ass man.
Yeah,
he's
been doing that.
He is a grown-ass man who was shacked up with a transvestite who turned his butt out, and he was dumb enough to take a shot. He let all of that brainwashing get him all riled up to do something that he can't undo. And saying I'm sorry doesn't work. Saying I didn't mean it doesn't work. It doesn't give this man back his life. Again, this goes back to that pyramid we were talking about, right? The people at the top talk all the trash. They come up with these hateful talking points, and by the time it trickles down to the young people whose lives they've already confused with all of this foolishness, they say, oh, well, they're Nazis anyway. Let's go kill them.
Yeah.
The world will love me for it. The world does not love you. The world does not love you. We don't love your furry friend, your transvestite friend. You have become a pariah in every single corner of this nation and parts of the world. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And the FBI isn't playing around. They've been investigating whether trans activist groups and other radicals had foreknowledge of the Charlie Kirk assassination plot. According to the New York Post, a law enforcement source confirmed that one of the radical leftist groups that the investigators have been looking at is Armed Queers Salt Lake City. This scrutiny of armed queers has evidently rattled some cages, prompting the State Department to take decisive action. So again, this is all Marxists. These are all Marxists, and they call themselves Marxists. So Armed Queers SLC is a radical socialist outfit that stated in its now deleted Instagram group that it was a revolutionary LGBTQ organization dedicated to the defense and success of supposedly oppressed peoples. So this sounds like, BLM with another B for buttholes. All right. The membership form for the socialist group identifies 6 principles, including the armed and militant protection of queer and trans communities and trans liberation from the gender binary and biological essentialism. Folks, this stuff is just weird. It's sick.
They make up stuff.
And now with President Trump, saying that they are part of Antifa, now that he can go after who's funding these groups. And that's what's very important. He can go after who is funding them. Utah, a spokesperson for Senator Warren told Blaze News in a statement, Senator Warren disavows any and all violence and believes that violence against anyone for their political beliefs is an attack on our democracy. But there's an NGO, Utah Global Diplomacy, that has hosted international exchange programs of the State Department to welcome foreign nationals to Utah for short-term professional and cultural experiences. So somehow this group has also been affiliated with this Armed Queers of Salt Lake City. We have talked about these NGOs.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The NGOs with our money.
I was going to say,
with our own money.
Get our public funds.
Yes, absolutely. I think JD made a comment about the Ford Foundation and the Soros Foundation taking taxpayer money. to uproot our own culture.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what the whole thing with USAID. That it was USAID was the program they used to do it overseas,
Absolutely.
in the world.
Absolutely.
And then they're using these homegrown NGOs for here. So I mean, it's terrible, and we're gonna keep our foot on their necks. We're gonna Derek Chauvin this topic, and we're gonna stay on it because. We're unlike Candace Owens. We want to get to the truth. We don't care about clicks and all this type of stuff. I mean, yes, we appreciate you guys, and we hope you're here because you agree with our stance on these issues, and we're all in this together. But the bottom line is we want to get to the truth. That's what we always want to do, and we're hoping that we do this. We hope this guy's put away. Actually, I hope he's put in front of a firing squad and it's done live.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some super chats here, folks. Thank you all so much. Let's see here. All right. We have Breezy with the $10 super sticker. Thank you. All right. We have Chadwick says Jimmy Kimmel found out that math works. The more that you F around, the more you will find out. Good riddance. Yes, indeed. Golden Blue with the $10 super chat says, I like Candace, but she's crashing out. I'm an Orthodox Christian. Charlie was looking into orthodoxy. He did a great interview with Father John Strickland, sparking his interest in orthodoxy. All right. Thank you. Chadwick says, again, Antifa just found out as well. The math is the same, and it was for Jimmy Kimmel. They found out as well. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Trader Graves, why would Israel kill any Americans, especially Charlie Kirk? Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna find out though, folks. We're gonna keep.
I mean, there are plenty of more people, and I'm not advocating, but you would think there are other people who are vehemently against Israel. If that's the case, if they, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
That would wield more power when it comes to money for Israel, weapons for Israel, that kind of thing. But if there's anything that I can say definitively on this topic is that. If there's something to find, Candace will find it. Let's just
find that. She has good digging skills, whatever, things like that. But
but I mean, a mud will dig up your yard. Doesn't mean it's good.
That's right. Listen, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it is. Right. So there are three things in this particular situation that have to happen, at least from my perspective, to make this right. His family needs to say goodbye to Charlie. We need to have that funeral. Conservatives need to up their security. And I mean, not just like, 2 extra guys. We really need to get serious about protecting the people who carried the message forward. And number 3, we need more people to carry the message. So they can't kill all of us. They really can't. And we have to start holding them responsible for the things that they say and do. And I'm loath to see people getting fired from their jobs, generally speaking. Right. But in this case, I'm loving seeing these people having to answer for some of this debauchery and foolishness.
Well, from media denial to outright destruction, leftists are just ignoring the truth. They're defeating and defacing tributes. So at UNC Wilmington, a mural honoring Kirk was vandalized in a shocking display. Take a look. This is clip 2.
Just so you guys know, I'm fully religious too. We know. Oh, I do, but Charlie Kirk is definitely not the morals I support or the religion I support, where you're just taught to love your neighbor, not hate your neighbor.
Respect.
Yeah, love your neighbor.
Okay. If you disagree, so this is loving your neighbor.
I'm not gonna love a man who doesn't even.
You don't have to.
So
you're not loving your neighbor.
You're not loving your neighbor.
It's not your job. It's not your job to judge.
You're right. I'm not judging. It is not my right to judge, but it is also not your right to judge either.
No, we're here protecting somebody. We're not here judging.
And we're not the ones.
If we were judging, we would be taking your paint can and dumping it on you, but we're not, are we? Because someone has to pay.
I paid all this time. It will, hopefully. If not, it's a price I gotta pay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did not mean to step on any of the flags. I will admit that. I am sorry. I don't think I did step on those. I only came over here. Yeah, the paint covering the flags. All my friends in Chapel Hill are going to be like cycling.
Go girly pop.
I miss Chapel Hill. I miss education.
This young lady just assaulted us.
She was pushing people out of the way.
No, I'm more than happy to speak. Sorry, I'm more than happy to speak.
Okay.
Do you want to speak here?
Yeah, we'll speak on it.
If someone wants to move these flags, I don't necessarily want to get any paint on them.
It doesn't really matter. You've already covered everything else in paint, so I don't
don't want to cover up the flag portion at all. Just the person on it. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Dude, I'm so glad I'm not you.
You want to move the signs or? Let me get this because she did cover you in paint and she did put her hands on you.
She did. She pushed me. Yeah.
Sweet.
Are you guys happy? Yeah. Does this give you peace? I'm sorry. Does this give you peace to take over somebody's memorial like this? So then why do it if it doesn't give you peace? If it doesn't give you a sense of... This is exactly why this happened in the first place. What you guys are doing... You destroy things you don't agree with. That is why he was shot.
What? I don't really understand. I don't know how they were the ones who painted the Charlie Kirk mural were able to contain themselves. We want to show you guys this image that shows what the mural looked like and then what they did afterwards. Take a look here. This is, do we have that? Look at that. So that's the Charlie Kirk mural. And then what did they paint over it? Look at that. Look at that.
And you know what? They're starting to make me stutter. You know what makes me angry?
Terrible.
Yeah, not near one of the mother blankety blanks black.
Yeah,
there wasn't a black one over there. But Black Lives Matter. Really?
It's all virtue.
And you see what's happening. So when George Floyd died, you saw violence in the streets. You saw looting, vandalism. Now we lost a huge person in the conservative movement, a Christian. None of it. Yeah. And we're still seeing leftists vandalizing and doing all kinds of stuff.
Not only that, George Floyd has a beautiful mural. I mean, as far as the artistry, right? Mm-hmm. Mural up in somewhere in Minneapolis. Michael Brown, if I'm not mistaken, has a street named after him to mark the spot where he was, killed, rightfully so, by the officer Darren. I forget his last name. But this is interesting. Let me say this. And here's my hand. If I had a Bible, I would swear like an oath in court. If I saw my daughter doing that, if I saw, I don't care how old she was, or, I don't care. I would be like that. Remember that mother on Freddie Gray went and ran and got her son out there? I would be like that. And y'all would see me on the TV, just please, I'll give you my checking account number.
I'll get you out, don't worry.
Yeah, whatever, because my daughter would be beat down, number one. I can't even imagine, even if that thing was BLM, right? And somebody went and just painted it with something else, that still wouldn't be right. But this is, where are the administrators? Why didn't they just have the administrators say, no, this is off limit. You can go and paint another damn rock. Matter of fact, go hide under it and let it crush you. Sit on top of your ass to sit you down or something. I don't know. It's just infuriating. It's infuriating.
What it is this again goes to show you how deeply indoctrinated these children are. Mm-hmm. Deeply indoctrinated.
Yeah.
It's sad to say that they are not going to make it. Mm-hmm. They're going to need to be completely reprogrammed in what American culture is supposed to be, because these are closely held beliefs. I mean, this is what they truly believe. Remember, we talked about the people who are willful in their neglect, and then there are people who are just dumb as a box of rocks. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a whole bunch of rocks. Yeah. That was a whole bunch of rocks.
Yeah. And the audacity, though. It's just like, what do you care? If you have an issue with Charlie Kirk, move on. Let the people who want the mural, let them, celebrate and mourn the passing of him. I don't understand why it bothers you so much. I see all these stupid George Floyd, all these every time I walk down Baltimore somewhere in the city, they got all these pride flags. I want to pull them up and throw them in the trash.
Absolutely, but I don't
do it.
Right. Now I do run over the road sticks things, and I do run over those. But we don't do that. We don't do it. I mean, it just does not compute. Doesn't even come. I'm like you, KJ. Sometimes I feel like I want to, I just want to just take something in a hammer or whatever and a sledgehammer and bang. But no, we don't. I mean, you might have those thoughts. I do, but it's just.
And same thing with the bumper stickers. People drive around with all these bumper stickers on. I bought these leftist bumper stickers. I just let them go. But if you have a MAGA hat on here in Baltimore City, or you're wearing, you have bumper stickers on your cars, you're liable to have your car vandalized.
Yeah.
These people do not have any respect for law and order, but it's by design because Marxists believe in revolution. Absolutely. And in order to have revolution, they believe it has to be coupled with violence. So this is inherently a violent movement. And this is why it's so important that it be stopped.
Yes. Because you can't have any other point of view than the view that has been assigned to you, right? That's what you have to believe.
Let me say something. Like you talking about the view, we talked about this the other day about how most of these, if not all of these ideologies are started in academics. Yep. And they are taught, indoctrinated to these students. Let me ask you this. Let me just make a plea. Any parent, if you are paying for your child's, your adult, whatever, college in any way, shape, or form, if you use now taxpayer money, yes. If you're using your money to pay for their college, please stop. If they are indoctrinating, find out what they are learning. Please stop sending your money to these universities and colleges, whatever, that are not teaching them anything. If you are a graduate and you have an alma mater, look before you send a check to that university donation for whatever. Look. As a matter of fact, if you were sending a check, I ask you to stop and take that check and literally call the foundation department and tell them why you're not going to give it to them again. Keep calling them. Keep calling. That's one thing we can all do. Call it. I'm not sending my money to you again because of X, Y, and Z, and this is why.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. I see you guys have some super chats. Thank you all so much. And as you come in, hit that like button. We need you to hit that like button. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience. And subscribe. We're growing this movement, folks. We're independent. We don't take a nonprofit. We're not taking any money from any big donors, nonprofits, nothing. It's you guys who keep us online. And so we really appreciate the support. Butterfly Mama with a $10 super chat says the left's reactions to all of this very telling as to where their general moral compasses are. I know there are normal Democrats out there that must be appalled by their extreme side. Yes,
some people are leaving.
Yeah,
not some. They're leaving in droves.
Oh yeah, thank God. MT with the $5 super chat says she went after his pastor in her show today. Talking about Candace Owens, directly, straight up told him to be quiet. Well, she doesn't like Protestants, folks. She doesn't like Christians. It's all Catholic for her. So I'm not surprised. MT says, hateful people saying love your neighbor. I know.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. Love your neighbor and I'll take this smack and get away from you, right?
She was that nasty nice. Strength training for seniors with a $20 super chat says, good night, ladies. Since you trashed Candace on your last show, have you changed your mind since Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and Candace's show yesterday supporting her take on Charlie's murder in Israel?
No.
Thank you.
No.
I'm
sorry, KJ. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Megyn Kelly, I watched that show. She did not support her take. So she was just confirming the fact that Charlie Kirk was in fact questioning some of the pushback he was getting for just hosting debates or shows that showed people pro-Israel and people questioning Israel. Right. It wasn't pro-Hamas, but they were questioning Israel. And she says there was some legitimacy to Candace Owens' comments about that. She did not say she didn't address, at least she didn't address her attacks on Israel.
Strength training may be referring to, Megyn did say something to the fact, she was, I'm not gonna say defending, but she was making the point, she said Candace is very smart and she's never known her, I don't know the word she used, I want to say irrational. She may not have used that word, but that's how I heard it. But so you may be talking about that, but ultimately, no. Even if Tucker or Megyn Kelly said something, if I have a thought that's different, I have a thought that's different, and I still admire Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and whomever. I think Candace is off on this one.
Yeah. Nicole, what are your thoughts?
I think people grow and people change and people question. I am a person who believes that Candace has value. This is not the moment.
Right.
But she definitely has value. This I think is the thing that's different in a conservative movement versus a liberal movement. We don't throw people away. Everybody has value. There's a place for you under the tent. Now, not everybody can be up front. Some people got to be in the back until they get their lives right. But Candace has a particular skill set that she leans into. And sometimes she comes up with great results and sometimes not so great results. But the point that everyone's trying to make, and the reason why people are dodging her calls, is that this is not the moment. This is not it. Wait until after the funeral. And then you'll see people will be answering the phone. And if there's something to be found and light shed on it, I'll be the first person to say, way to go, Candace. Thank God that you found what you found. But until we can show some honor and respect for his family, it's a no from me, dog.
Well, honestly, for me, I know these ladies. I know, of course, myself. And our goal in everything we do, the first goal is to continue and push the conservative movement.
Absolutely.
That is our first goal here on this. And also, I'll say side by side, and also we're Christians and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Those two things are always cornerstone for us. I don't believe that is Candace Owens' top priority. I think her top priority is getting millions of views. And so right now with, the heartbreaking and tragic death or assassination of Charlie Kirk, she wants to capitalize on this in any way possible. She's facing a lawsuit from the Macrons. She's been pushing out her, to sell her merch as she's getting more views and there is a subsect of the YouTube population and in general that believe. A lot of leftists are following her now. A lot of leftists are watching her because she is pro-Hamas. She's pro-Gaza. So, this has been giving her a lot more boost. Now she has she still has some conservatives because she does put out some conservative stuff. And now she's getting the leftists because she's pushing out, pro-Hamas stuff. So she's grown in leaps and bounds. She's diversified herself, really.
She has.
I don't know if she has, that best interest at heart. I really don't.
I don't know her heart, but Nicole, you said under this tent. Another thing that we do on our side, because I know you all notice that a lot of times, KJ, Nicole, and I, we might, we're on the same side, but we might approach it differently, if you will.
I'll see it from a different perspective.
Well, sometimes we don't agree at all, and we have different takes on it. But one thing we do, I think we do well on our side. Most of the time, we critique each other. I'm not talking about just us three, but I'm talking about our side. We critique each other, not to be mean or not to, like you said, throw people away.
Right.
We might critique each other. There may be things like on whatever, I'm just using Matt Walsh. Some things Matt Walsh, maybe we might not agree with, KJ might, or vice versa. Maybe Megyn Kelly, I might agree, KJ might. Whatever, but we're still on the same side. And we still, generally speaking, we still respect and admire these people and each other. I don't know what Candace is doing. I don't know. I think she's not just growing her channel as far as numbers. I think she's just trying to grow herself, her popularity.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and guess what, folks? If she really cared about Christians, she would be going after Islam, because Christians are the number one persecuted religion in the world. And the number one persecutor of Christians is Muslims. Islam, okay? So instead of going after Israel, this tiny country the size of New Jersey that really is not persecuting Christians on at all, or on a large scale at least, she should be going after Islam. If you want to go after somebody, go after all these Islamic nations that are doing these awful things to Christians in Nigeria, to Christians, where else is it?
Everywhere. Mostly in Africa.
Africa.
And some in Asia.
Asia, right. So we don't see that. So how can we sit here and say that she's being authentic? How can we say that when it doesn't even make sense? It doesn't make sense. So, that's my 2 cents on that. I want to get you guys a super chats. what do we have here? We have Gloria.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you so much. Says, I love you ladies, holy and often hilarious. We need a little levity at times. Keep up the Lord's great work. Thank you. Sonia C with a $10 super chat says, video shows the shooter jumped off the roof with no rifle, but it's found in the woods. So how did he shoot him while on the roof? Gunpowder residue doesn't go away.
Well, okay, first of all, the grainy video, it was not, I don't know what you call it, was not top-notch video. The camera that caught the assassin coming off the roof was just a standard, what I understand was a standard campus camera. It was not a fine-tune. That's number one. Number two, he did, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he threw something over on the ground before he jumped down. Mm-hmm. So it could have been in that bag. I don't have, again, these are details we don't know too. Yeah. We want to know these details as well. As far as gunpowder residue, it can go away after, it depends on what he was wearing. Did he wash? Did he shower? Whatever, things like that. So it takes a while to go away depending on where it is on your body and how, I guess how much of it depends. But nevertheless, these are the details we want to know too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Very good questions. Very good comments. We appreciate them all. Susan Jacqueline 123 with the $5 super chat says, good evening, sweet, sharp, and spicy. Thank you, ladies, for your authenticity. Thank you. Chadwick with the $5 super chat says, this is absolutely crazy. If it was a liberal that was being painted on there would have been a fight. Mm-hmm. We have more guns and less violence. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. JT says, Candace just said y'all are being funded by Israel as a Jewish propaganda outlet. Wow, did she really say that?
JT's joking.
Oh, no, we are not.
First of all, we didn't get that check.
No, we didn't. No, we did not. And you know what? I was watching Louder with Crowder. Stephen Crowder today, and he brought up a good point. We're not nonprofit folks. We don't have, we're not taking any government funding. We're not taking any donor funding. We are really just doing this.
We are nonprofit. We don't have a profit.
Right. We're not right. We're not. No, we are not.
The truest sense of the word nonprofit.
And we're also unattached. Like a lot of these people, like they're cliquish. Like they're all part of the, the what do you call it? The club.
The good boy, that boy.
Not good boy, but just like, the cliques and stuff. We're not a part of that. So
we're not even clicked up.
No, we are not. So I would say I wish we would, but I'm glad we're not. So
I'm so glad we're not. Yeah. I'm so glad we're not.
Josh with the $20 super chat says, in case y'all hadn't noticed, we are 5,000 followers away from hitting the 200,000 mark.
Thank you, Josh. Woo!
Yes. Woo! I've been forwarding the show to everyone. Let's get it done. It will be a party. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Josh.
We've got champagne in the fridge.
Yes. Yeah, we are going to be so happy. We cannot wait. And we've been doing this with you all. We appreciate every last follow, every last like, every last super chat, every last chat. We love you guys. It's been helpful just talking with you all,
right?
Because we were really heartbroken about Charlie Kirk's assassination, and so we still are. And so I think it has been therapeutical for all of us, just talking with you all and you all chatting with us, and that's from our heart.
Yeah, you guys have helped us get through this in ways that you can't even begin to understand. Knowing that there are people who felt what we felt, and some people who've never met Charlie, some people who, only watch a snippet or two on IG or what have you, but understanding the greater impact that his death has caused for conservatives all over the place. Mm-hmm. This was a quite the turning point in our culture. And everybody keeps saying that. I am Charlie. I am Charlie. We are Charlie. In a way, we all are Charlie. We're bringing the message out. And we need to be able to be safe and speak our minds without fear of being shot, fear of being torn down, set ablaze, any of these things that these people are doing. We've got to get America back on track, folks. We really do.
Yes, indeed. Well, as we were just talking about the awful cover-up of this mural in North Carolina, now we have the left's celebration of destruction. at the courts. So it extends to the courts in a twist that's got radicals rejoicing actually in the streets. Luigi Mangioni's charges in the shooting death of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City have been dropped to second-degree murder. Take a look. This is clip 4.
A fucking pedophile, so I'm glad this is the result.
You know, that's amazing. But that just shows when we're all together, right? They were like, they can't let that shit slide. Yep. Guys, this is on everybody, right? Because we didn't let that shit slide. So you know we didn't let that slide. That's right, that's right. Free! Luigi! 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 Free!
Internet famous.
Wow. All right. This is what we're talking about, death cult, folks. We just had an assassination that our generation has never seen. And now they're out here championing for this guy to get off, who pretty much did something similar to what happened to Charlie Kirk. So yesterday, a New York judge found that there was not enough evidence to support 2 terrorism charges against Mangioni and dropped them from the case. The 26-year-old will still face the rest of the charges, which include second-degree murder and criminal possession of a weapon. There was no evidence presented of a desire to terrorize the public, inspire widespread fear, engage in a broader campaign of violence, or to conspire with organized terrorist groups, wrote Judge Gregory Caro. Here, the crime, the heinousness, but target and discrete killing of one person is very different from the examples of terrorism set forth in the statute. Shelley, what are your thoughts on this?
I thought it was interesting to be noted that this decision came down on Tuesday, the same day the assassin in Utah was being charged formally. That was number one. I think that was on purpose and intentional. I do. Number 2, what happened to first-degree murder then? I mean, I know they got rid of the terrorism because that's sort of an extra aggravated charge or whatever. But what happened to first-degree murder? They went all the way down to second, and they skipped over first-degree murder. This man, he had to have planned it. I haven't seen the evidence, but this is just me talking. He had to have planned it to know where that man was going to be at a certain time. He had to have watched him, which can lend to premeditation, which would suffice for a first-degree murder charge. So I don't understand the terrorism is gone, the first-degree murder seems to be gone, second-degree murder. Believe me, this other person, piece of shit, he won't be in jail for life. He won't be in jail for life.
No, especially
so
not
young.
in New York.
Yeah.
So listen, and this is going to sound absolutely horrible, but know my heart in this. If you're going to shoot somebody in the head, New York is the state to do it in. If you can't get in Massachusetts, if you can't do it in Boston, do it in New York. So they overcharged the terrorism because although there were many CEOs and C-suite executives who took their pictures off of websites and that kind of thing, it doesn't fit the New York statute that says terrorizing the general public, not a very specific, 10, 20 people. So it was an overcharge, but I'm with you, Shelley. This was a premeditated murder. It was well planned. It was well thought out. And although we can't definitively say it was Luigi because he has not yet been convicted.
Okay, allegedly.
Allegedly. But what we can say is that it's probably highly unlikely that he spends the rest of his life in jail. He'll do some time.
He'll do some time,
and then he'll come out and he'll be, a leftist icon. They'll see him on T-shirts, and they'll probably have Luigi parties somewhere. But it is ridiculous to me how very little life means in certain states. Certain states have no value for human life.
Not only that, but folks, there are a lot of people on the left that say, you know, this was horrible for him to do, but the CEO, United Healthcare was doing this, and the CEO was doing this, and they excuse this. I mean, the moral rot in the left, on the left these days is just ridiculous. And I don't know how anyone can support this party. I really don't. I know I missed some super chats from earlier. Thank you guys so much. Please, as you all come in, hit that like button.
Please.
G. Warren with the $10 super chat. The problem with Candace is not that she doesn't have good skill set. The problem is she's not the truth seeker that she claimed to be, and it's now undermining everything she stands for.
That's a point.
Yeah.
That's a point.
Judy with the $5 super chat says, powerful ladies, 66-year-old Gran here. My heart hurts in this division. My anger is bigger. If we painted over Floyd mural back then, they would not riot. Yeah.
Absolutely. The country still be on fire.
Yes, indeed. J. Cam with a $10 super chat says, you can paint over all the rocks in the world, but the rock of our salvation, which is Christ, can never be covered up.
Amen.
Love that.
Amen.
Love that. Yes. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you. Again, your super chats go a long way in helping us produce conservative content, and we appreciate the support. Folks, it's not just us that are tired of the left. There are actually Democrats who are leaving the Democrat Party over the lawlessness, over the hate. And this is what's going on in this next clip. Amid all this chaos, even Democrats are waving goodbye. Clip 7. Take a look.
I am fucking done with the Democratic Party. You guys are psychotic. I've been a Democrat my entire life. I'm 43 years old, and I've never been more humiliated and embarrassed to be part of something. You guys are the most racist, hateful, bigoted, nasty group of people I've ever had to commingle with. And it's not all, just to be clear, but it's a majority of you guys. The left has lost their goddamn minds. What I've witnessed over the last 72 hours has been an absolute disgrace. Disgrace. You guys want to sit here, you want to abort babies at 9 months, you want to leave the borders wide open. New York City is an absolute disgrace. You have no idea what's going on in Manhattan. It's disgusting. Disgusting. It's not even livable anymore. I can't wait to get out of here. We have people that are getting set on fire in New York City subways, not once, but twice. The stores are being looted. People are being pushed in front of the trains. The streets are filled with piss and weed. And I swear to God, I hope New York City single-handedly flips the entire New York State red, because I am done. I am done.
Yeah. New York is, for lack of better words, a shit show. And it literally smells like pee. I've been there. Last year I went for some time, and the stench of urine is some of the worst I've ever smelled. I mean, it's a combination of urine and menstrual. Shelley, what are your thoughts? Shelley,
I'm just letting you say urine and menstrual.
I'm just saying, y'all painting some pictures this evening. You're painting some pictures this evening.
There are, like you said, Nicole, earlier, there are a lot of people, I said a lot of people who are leaving the Democratic Party. Some people on social media talking about, they see all of this evil, vile, vicious things that are being said about Charlie Kirk. People who never even heard of the man, okay? Yes. All they know is this is something, this cult following, if you will. Let me get on social media and say what I can say that's totally asinine, disgusting, wrong, evil, whatever. The most vicious things I can say just to have my face on the camera. I mean, I don't know that lady. I applaud her. I'm applauding the millions of other people. I've seen young people, too, on social media. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. Unfortunately, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, that's unfortunate. But, again, there's going to be a whole lot of, I think, some good. I hate saying that in that same sentence, but I mean, you know what I mean? It just doesn't sound right to say that in that sentence. But deep in my heart, I think there are going to be some good things that come after this. Let me say it that way.
Yeah, I think it is definitely opened up minds and hearts, and it made people really question who they're aligned with. Mm-hmm. For some people, most people are one issue voters, right?
Right.
And for a particular demographic, let's just call them middle-aged white women, it's abortion. Abortion is their thing, and they started acting out because of abortion. Now they've clung on to illegal immigration. It's their thing. People are one issue voters, but most people have a moral compass, right? And when They look at the party that they belong to getting lost in the weeds with no clear leader. There is no leadership. No one has stepped up and said, hey, hold on, time out. We're going to get ourselves together. In fact, they're all doubling down on dumb. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And before you know it, there'll just be a handful left of them. And I'm not going to say it's a good thing or a bad thing, but what I want to see is America succeed.
Yeah.
I want to see this nation succeed. So we need everybody to try to get themselves together. Even people who are, kind of questioning or going to hang around with the party just to see if they level out, they're not going to level out. There's no leveling coming. This is who they are. They allow their far fringe group to kind of take over their party. And I think these midterms are going to be a bloodbath. To piggyback on your bloody situation in New York City.
Right.
For the record, upstate New York is absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, and it smells good. So
well, I mean, it's only going to get worse though. It's particularly Manhattan, New York City, because with this election of Mamdani, I mean, it definitely looks like he's going to win.
Well, they're saying that Eric Adams is considering stepping out, so that Mamdani doesn't win.
Well, even if he steps out, I mean, the last polling I saw showed that even with him in or out, Mamdani still had a larger percentage of the vote.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't count him out yet. Don't count out.
Well, I'm not.
New Yorkers, please. Just please.
Listen, all I can say is you can mess it up if you want to. We're not coming to save you.
No.
We're not. We're not coming to save you.
Get out. Get out. That's what I say. Leave the city as soon as you can, because it's only going to get worse. I mean, that lady was saying that there have been at least two people were set on fire in the subway.
Set on.
People push people off the tracks.
I mean, this is like Minority Report with Tom Cruise. I mean, this is like some next level stuff. Dystopia. This is a dystopian style, place. And you talk about pee in the streets. Now they're going to elect this guy. It's going to smell like BO and peanut sauce. I mean, this is a problem. This is a very big problem, folks.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me with these pictures.
This is what it is. Menstrual masala.
Oh, my God. Jiminy Crickets. So here's the thing. Today I was in D.C. To go to a friend's event, and it is absolutely lovely.
Oh.
Pleasant, dare I say. I actually, for the first time in 15 years, used the ladies' room at Union Station.
Oh,
whoa.
Wow.
Say less. They don't know that I'm a germaphobe, but I'm a germaphobe.
Okay.
So it was clean, and there was not one stall that had a person living in it.
Wow.
There was an attendant. She was on top. I mean, even the sink was dry. Like,
wow.
We watching. I was like, well, wait a minute. This is almost nice. And then I'm walking out, and they have the Swiss chocolate store that's in there. I'll go by and get the free sample. So I'm having a sample with her, and she's like, I can stand out here now and give samples, and I don't have to have, she didn't have to have bear spray.
Wow.
Right? Because, she's been attacked before, so she didn't have to have bear spray.
Giving out samples.
Walked outside, there were nobody heckling you or asking you for change. What Trump has done in D.C., if we could replicate in all of our major cities, it would make this country, people proud again. There's a little old lady walking down the street with her pocketbook. That would have never happened. I even had my cell phone out. That would have never happened before. And that's like a half a block, maybe 2 blocks.
From the Capitol.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. That truly is. I know last time I was in D.C., it wasn't the last time, but the last time I rode the subway in D.C.
The Metro,
Yeah, the Metro. Many years ago, there was a man standing at the top of the subway, peeing down the
escalator,
the hand,
the rail.
handrails. It went down. He laid his blue-brown penis on the rail and peed down the escalator. That's how nasty the place was.
Wow.
Oh my God. I'm so grateful I did not have any food. I did not have any dinner, because I would be wearing it right now. You are painting pictures tonight, girlfriend.
That's what it was.
You're just painting food.
I'm telling you, thank God for President Trump. All right. That does it for us tonight, folks. Thank you all so much. You can This is Wednesday.
Yeah.
So last night, the All American Talk Show had their show on here. We're all on the Metro Conservative Media Network. Check them out. Their live show at All American Talk. You can catch them out there on Tuesday, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. You can catch their live. Tomorrow, I am back on at KJ Christian Conservative, me and Michelle. And of course, we have special guest Pastor Damon joining us for the second part of our series on Christian nationalism. So we are making the case for Christian nationalism. So check that out tomorrow at KJ Christian Conservative. All right. And then Saturday, you can check out at Just the Guys podcast for their live show at Just the Guys podcast.
You know, that's going to be good. But, you know, KJ, we cannot end on your penis story.
No,
we just cannot.
Well, before I'll let you go last because
Okay.
I have a something I wanted to just sum up a little bit.
Sure.
So you know how we always say the left changes language, and you know we need to actually use words and you know correctly have the original or the right definition. I'm going to ask us outside to stop saying Charlie Kirk got shot or he passed, and I'll tell you why. Got shot or he passed. They're so passive. Right? Passing, when someone passes, it paints the image, talk about image, it paints the image of them maybe passing from natural causes, transitioning as, you know, maybe they got sick, something like that. Got shot implies, at least to me, implies that he kind of just walked in the middle of maybe some drive-by shootings. He was the wrong person. I'm just saying the image. I want us to use assassination. It has a bigger, more meaningful connotation, and the left can't, they're going to try to, you know, minimize it, but we can't let them. This man was assassinated. Yes, he was murdered, ultimately. Murder, again, the murder and assassination has some contextual differences, if you will. The result was still the same, but assassination, I think, captures the heart, if you will, of what actually happened to Charlie Kirk. That's all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nicole, you had something?
Today is Constitution Day. Yes. 1787, the Constitution was ratified. And, you know, the beautiful thing, and I keep harping on this because I'm super excited about it, as a part of the A250 or America 250 celebration, the Constitution in whole, the original, will be laid out for everybody to see. And it's going to be amazing. And I can't wait. I'm so excited just to... well, you know, you can't touch it, but to be in the room with that kind of history, it's going to be an amazing moment. So congratulations to us on this legacy document that has kept this nation together. You know, this is our republic to protect if we can keep it.
Absolutely. And it's on us to do it. Thank you all so much. We will be back on Friday night at 9 p.m. Until then, wishing you warm days and starry nights. Good night.